Good evening, good evening, good evening, wherever you may be joining us in North America. And good morning to everyone that's joining us from Asia and Asia Pacific, our region over there. My name is Holly Demott, and I am joining you from my home in Arizona. So it's still daylight here. And Dr. Alicia is joining me from the Midwest, right outside of Des Moines, Iowa. And Alicia, is it dark there yet?
It's getting there. It's getting
Getting
close.
there. Okay,
Yeah.
it's 7 o'clock there, 5 o'clock where I am. We love that we can connect like this virtually with all of you. We will keep this pretty informal and very educational. We have before and afters to show you, lots of them and stories to go with them. We launched this GLP, meaning we, as in Three International, launched this in January. January 10th, we went to Fort Worth, Texas. Yeehaw, right? And we
Right.
went to Fort Worth and we had no idea what we were in for. Zero idea. And the night before it launched, I was up in the suite of the founder with other top leaders, and I was introduced to this product, and my head was like, "What?" Because I love peptides. I love the peptide world. And in my head, I'm like, it's natural. Like, how's this going to work? Will it have the potency? Will it have the results? Like, I was thinking of all that. And they said, Dr. Dan will be here tonight. You'll hear him tomorrow. And I waited for Alicia to hear Dr. Dan the next day, and he shared the research, he shared his formulation, he shared the studies, and then I'm like, okay, check mark on that. That's a big deal. And then people started using it. And
Mhm.
that's when you have the science and results and natural whole food base, and then you have results, that's the magic potion. And so Dr. Alicia and I were in the same boat where we were like, is this going to work? Like, what? And has it ever? And you're going to see our before and after. So, Dr. Alicia, what were your thoughts that day when you first heard about it?
Right. So I have understood the peptide world for a very long time. It's something that, for myself, if anybody wants to take the synthetics, that is totally fine with me. Kudos to them. The science is there. The science is there that the effects that it has on cardiovascular health, brain health, all the areas of health. It does work, right? But for myself, it wasn't an option. It was something that that's just the life I've chose, and it was something that I didn't want to do. And so do the injections. And so when this was presented, I said, well, the science has to be legit. Dr. Dan is our Caltech trained biochemist who is absolutely phenomenal, and he's brilliant, and he is the creator behind this. And so I will trust him. We've used Simple Six products from Three for a while, and I have utmost trust in those products. And so when I sat and learned about the science, I thought, you're right. It is real. Like, it makes sense. It makes sense why somebody could take something natural and use it and not get the side effects. And we're going to explain why. Like, what sets that apart from the synthetics? How can something that is all natural be competing and competing well in that pharmaceutical world? And so we'll share that with you tonight of what sets it apart, and then the results. And right out of the gate, we were able to measure, people were seeing the scale move, and that was super exciting. But what I know about health is what happens over time, right? Like, healing and changing your metabolism is an inside out thing. It didn't happen overnight. We didn't get to a world where we are right now overnight. And so I knew that we were going to see long-term results, right? Right out of the gate, there was inflammation and things where people were noticing better sleep and inflammation. The scale was moving. But now we're seeing blood sugar regulation, right? You change somebody's blood sugars and you radically change their life. You change so many metabolic functions, which goes into hormones, which goes into all these body processes. So it's been fun, and we're going to talk about those, what we see in the beginning sometimes and what we see along the way. And as it's gone on, right? Because we are coming upon the 90-day mark for people, which is really where you start to see some of those even bigger shifts. So that's exciting.
It does. And if you saw the flyer for tonight, Dr. Alicia and I's photo is on there. We look so much different. I mean, our faces are fuller on there. So we need to get professional shots again.
New
Let me
headshots.
let me share though. Let me share with you guys. Understanding the new metabolic boost complex. Welcome. We're going to share our before and afters. So I just shared mine today. And Alicia sent me the picture and I was like, oh my gosh.
Well, in fairness, you're like, I don't know if I have a picture. And I said, oh, I have one for you.
Because I was like, I didn't like taking pictures, and you don't feel great with how you look in clothes, you kind of avoid pictures. And it's kind of hard to do that with what I do. Okay, so here we go. Here we go. Ready, 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 drum roll. Okay, so there's January 11th, right there on the left. Loved my outfit that day. And I was on stage speaking, and that was the day that I heard about GLP-3. That's the day, the natural GLP. And then you can see me here in person. You can see my picture on the right side. That was March 24th. And I felt good. I hadn't worn those frame jeans in a long time. And they fit. They were like fit perfectly. Like I didn't have to squeeze to get in them or anything. And it was awesome. And you guys, that there's a good feeling there. And most importantly, I would say with me, it's definitely metabolic health. And I didn't realize the impact of metabolic health and how that affects everything in the body. Everything from liver function, kidney function, my gut health, my sleep, my energy levels, everything, my skin, it's everything. And I am being very patient with it. It's been about 15 pounds for me. It's about a pound a week. And I'm very happy with a pound a week because I know there's a lot of healing going on. And I know that I'm seeing body composition changes. I'm seeing muscle mass increase, and I'll take that all day. And it's the easiest thing I've ever done to lose weight, and I have done the extremes. Okay, so this is not about me. That's my story, though. I want to share then Dr. Alicia's before and after. So I'll let her share. I'll let her share the two here. First, with that left picture, Alicia, I really thought like, did she like stretch that? And she didn't.
No,
She
she
sent me
didn't.
the picture, and I was like, she did. That's a real picture.
A real picture. We were actually at the airport heading down to Dallas, and it was the day before it was launched. And so it was super exciting. Had no idea. And in my head, I thought, I look great. I was probably 12 pounds away from my ultimate goal in my head of what I think my goal or thought my goal was. And headed off to Dallas, and here we went. And this was launched. And I'll be very honest with my story. I lost about 7 or 8 pounds right out of the gate. I was like, yes, like this is going to be, I'm going to be at 12 and 15 and maybe 20, and this is going to be amazing. And then it kind of leveled off a little bit. And the old me probably would have been like, this isn't working. I'm done. Right. And when I say leveled off, I mean the scale, right? Because we're really a society that is so bent on the scale. But I was in this for the long haul. I know what takes things to change. So I kept continuing. And over that time, from the 7 pounds until now, until that March 24th picture, I've gone down a pant size. I've gone down 2 bra hooks. I've obviously look a lot different. You can actually see my eye sockets, which is a big thing that I notice with people. When inflammation goes down, you can see the socket, like what their eyes are in, right? That starts to go away. And the puffiness in my cheeks. I'm sleeping amazing. I feel better. My body composition is 100% changing. Like I look different. Somebody sent me a picture from Christmas, and somebody sent me something from last fall. I look different in my clothes. A coat I bought for vacation in March, I bought it in February. If I had to buy it again, I probably would go down 2 sizes. I mean, it's just incredible the metabolic shift that's happening. And to be also honest, I've been screwing up my metabolism since I was 15 years old trying to fit in a prom dress. Right? I can remember at that time taking my own lunch to school with butter sandwiches because I thought that would squeeze me into my dress. And that's probably where the metabolic dysfunction and dysregulation started. And I've just played this game 3 babies later for years. And I've tried all the things. And so, like you, Holly, um, you you said it's the easiest thing you've done. I would say it is as well. I'm not. I've done the counting the calories and counting the macros and the in and out and the exercise and all this stuff, and this is just feels so real and natural, and that's what's been really exciting.
Okay. I know. You guys, when she said butter sandwiches, I thought of Mean Girls, the movie. When they gave the one head girl like food to have her gain weight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, having fun here. We're having fun. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's talk about the problem. I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Alicia. I'm going to be running the slides for her. She's going to educate you. She's going to do it in a really efficient way for you all to understand in layman's terms, and let's go.
All right. So we're going to explain a little bit. I'm going to explain some sciencey. So if you're really sciencey and you need that part, I'm going to explain it. If you need some visuals, I'm going to explain it. If you need some, what are people actually noticing? I'm going to explain it. So to hang with me, if it seems a little thick for you, just hang with me. We're going to get it to a part that resonates for you. Okay, got it? All right. So the problem is we're in a metabolic problem. We have a massive metabolic problem in this country. You look at a beach in 1950 and you look at a beach in 2025, and they are distinctly different. And some people would say that's a willpower problem. Some people would say we have a problem with all kinds of things. Like we're just not strong enough. We're not tough enough. It's the in and out. People aren't going to the gym. The truth is, how many gyms actually existed in 1950? Not many. How many people have a gym membership now? A whole heck of a lot. And the truth is, we are still in this mess. And so the question is, what have we done to get here? I'm going to talk in a minute about a bad receptor and different things. But the truth is, have we screwed up our metabolism? A big part of it is the food. Our food in this country is full of things like high fructose corn syrup. That will ruin a metabolism and a GLP receptor in a hot minute. Things like high fructose corn syrup, hydrogenated oils, the high stress lives we live in, the lack of sleep, the pharmaceuticals. Like we live in a world where our food supply is not what it should be. And then the extra world that we live in is not what should be. And we have this damaged receptor, and that is the problem. Okay. And so that's really what's happened. So when you look at this, you can start to see the cycle. So I'm going to explain this cycle to you because I want you to understand how we got here. People eat food, maybe not the apple and the cucumber on there, right? That may not be what got us into this mess, but in general, we eat food. And when we eat food, our body will make raises the blood sugar. The blood sugar goes up, and then the blood sugar tries to get to the cells because the cells need it to function properly. Okay, so our body makes insulin, okay, and insulin is meant to bring the blood sugar down, and then that helps drive the blood sugar into the cells. The problem is that because the receptor that we're going to talk about here in a minute is damaged, the blood sugar is actually not able to get into the cells the way it's supposed to. And so this blood sugar is out in the body. The excess sugar stores in fat, turns to fat, and guess what that does? It creates a vicious cycle. It makes us feel more tired, makes us feel more hungry, makes us crave food, and we go and eat more. And so it's this vicious cycle. You've probably heard the term insulin resistance, and that's really what it is. We are resistant to the insulin. The insulin is not letting the sugar get into the cells the way it's supposed to. It's building up and converting into the fat, and now we have a problem, okay? So this is the science. So when you look at this, what you're seeing is at the very bottom, you have the cell, and the little ladder thing that goes across the top, that's the cell membrane. Okay. And so when you have right there in the center is this green thing, and that is the receptor. It looks a lot like a green pepper. So you'll see me talk a lot about the green pepper. I always have green peppers in every room I'm in or any room I'm zooming in because I'm always talking about this green pepper because imagine this is like the receptor, okay? And actually what happens is this insulin is like a lock and a key system that will let the blood sugar actually go do what it needs to. It's part of the metabolic connection. And here's what we know. Okay. And this didn't happen like a year or two ago. We didn't learn this 3 or 4 years ago. Decades ago, we learned that this GLP receptor that's damaged, if you take amino acids, which is that chain GLP-1s, and you actually attach them onto this receptor, it actually lets insulin do what it's supposed to, and it lets the blood sugar get into the cell. And so it really is a way of lock and key, like almost like tricking it, but it does what it's supposed to do. The science is there. They've been studying peptides and they've been studying GLPs, like I said, for decades, that they get it to do what it needs to. It gets the sugar into the cell. The problem is, and we're going to talk about this here in a minute, is how aggressively it does that. And that's why people either choose not to have the synthetics or that's why they're seeing the side effects. So your body is like this house. So if you're a visual learner, this is your shot, okay? So if your body works like this house, and so you have the house and you have the rooms of the house, and when you eat, your body takes that blood sugar and it turns it into fuel. The fuel goes into each of the rooms of the house. You see it goes right through the door's open, the fuel goes in, every energy reaches where it's supposed to. And that's awesome. That's how it's supposed to work. But what happens when it doesn't work that way? Okay. When it doesn't work that way, on the next slide, we see what happens when it doesn't open. When the fuel can't get in, it starts to build up. and it turns to fat. And in that time, you feel more hungry. You have that low energy. You get the brain fog, you have weight gain, you have inflammation. People don't feel good. We're really in 2026. It's the world we live in. And it's not a lack of discipline. It's because the cells aren't letting the fuel in. Look at that visual. Sorry, go back for just a minute. Look at that visual, how the fuel can't get through. The door is broken. The door is the receptor. This green pepper is the door, and it's not letting it into where it needs to be. Okay, so but here's the problem. You will see this on the next slide. With the synthetics, when the synthetics that you've heard of, the shots, things like that, when they hit the receptor, they're aggressive. I want you to imagine a bowling ball landing on a bounce house. Think of how chaotic that would be. That's an issue. And when it lands, it actually doesn't even just hit that receptor, it hits things around it. It actually hits two receptors that are responsible for loss of muscle. So some people think from the GLPs they're losing muscle mass because of the quick weight loss. That's part of it. But it actually hits two receptors that are responsible for something called sarcopenia, which is loss of muscle mass. And you guys, let me tell you, you want to live a long life, you better have muscle mass. You better have muscle mass. So that's the problem. So we have this synthetic GLP, it lands on it, it's like a bomb. But what if there was an option where it didn't land like that? What if it could land gently? What if it could land like a ping pong ball on a bounce house? Well, that's GLP-3. And that's where GLP-3 comes in. And it's an all-natural product from salmon and mushrooms. It is a blend of peptides. It is peptides. It is a natural peptide blend of 267 peptides that lands on the receptor gently. You guys, I often use this example of the space shuttle landing on the dock or the dock on the space. And that just happened today. If you just watch TV, or there was just a shuttle that took off. Okay, so it lands in a natural, gentle way. It opens the door gently, not like a bomb going off. It guides the sugar into the cells. That's why people aren't getting the harsh side effects, and that's why people aren't getting the rapid weight gain back, because you haven't completely obliterated the receptor when you landed on it. You did it nice and gently. And that's the science lesson about why this is so different. It is not about forcing that door open. It's about having the right fit, the lock and the key, so the body can work the way it's supposed to. So you can take the stress off the receptor that's been happening for decades. It's the same receptor as the synthetics. It's the same mechanism of action. It's just a different experience. It's a natural experience because it's naturally supporting. It's meant to regulate your metabolism. And over time, you actually can go back and change the way that functions. It's meant to work with your body and not override it and slam it in the way that happens with those. So this is why this was a natural fit for me. It's why it's something that I can put my name behind, because this is all natural. It's oral. There's no injections whatsoever. It supports natural weight loss. People are losing weight with this. It helps lower blood sugars. People are having less cravings. It takes away the food noise. It's all the good things about the synthetics that we wanted without the bad. You're not losing muscle mass, but you're getting high level absorption of this product. If you're new here to Three, we use really high quality products, really high quality ingredients, nothing synthetic, and we're an absorption company. So everything here is very highly absorbed. So when you look at these slides, it tells you this is what's different. This is the basics of it. It's Mother Nature's GLP. It's all natural. People aren't getting the stomach issues, the GI distress, the loss of muscle. It's all natural peptides from very pure from salmon and mushrooms. Dr. Dan has added a few other things in here, like hops, ginseng, saffron to it. There's some good data behind those as well. Very high absorption. Let's get rid of the food cravings. To be honest, I've heard people talk about food noise. I didn't know what that was until I took this product, and now I get it. Like food noise. I'm not thinking about food all the time. In fact, there's days I get till noon and I'm like, did I eat after breakfast? I don't know. Is it time to eat? I'm not really sure. And that didn't usually happen. I would usually finish my breakfast and I was thinking about what I was going to have for lunch, right? That's the big difference. This product is in the PDR. Physician's desk reference, provider's digital reference. This is the Bible of pharmaceuticals, and they all get in there. Here's the thing. They rarely allow supplement companies in. In fact, since 1945, when it was created, they've allowed 21 supplement companies in, and we're one of the 21. We're the only one with our whole line. And as far as I know, this is the only natural GLP product in the PDR. So that means when somebody goes into their physician, it is in the same resource that they use for everything else that they're looking at. It's patent pending, it's trademarked. There's nothing else like this out here. It's exclusive to three. And that's huge for me. For weight loss, you're using 3/4 of a dropper 2 times a day. I like to put it under my tongue. Everybody's a little bit different. Some people don't care. You take it, it goes up to a 3/4 mark. It's kind of hidden up under the lid, under your tongue 2 times a day. Super easy. You might be thinking for weight loss, well, of course, for weight loss. Why else would you take it? Well, here's the thing. Metabolic issues are connected to all kinds of things. Type 2 diabetes, inflammation, heart disease, fatty liver, the abdominal fat, that's the visceral fat, that's deadly. We don't want it, right? So all of these different things are connected to metabolic disease, to insulin resistance. And so we can affect some of these things through something natural, which is awesome. You can take a look at some things. When we pulled these out of our testimonial group to what are people noticing, right? Holly, what are your favorites off here?
I would say the food noise. I did not know what food noise was before this. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, wow, like I was full of food noise all the time. Wow. And let's see. Appetite regulation. I don't know if we have it on here, but cravings. I've been craving different things. I shared this earlier. For me to lose weight, I've had to always do extreme things, and that usually meant cutting out carbs, like hardcore cut out carbs or hardcore fasting. And I'm finding that my body's craving carbs more. And
Mm-hmm.
it's healthier carbs, and it's like, wow, I've never had sourdough bread in the house so many weeks in a row. And it's neat. It's what my body's clearly craving, those macro and micronutrients. And, I'm listening to that. Dr. Alicia calls it, innate eating versus, forcing myself to hold out for intermittent fasting, do a 16/8 day or a 24 day. Those of you intermittent fast, you know what I mean? And I'm really enjoying it. I'm enjoying not being so rigid, not so rigid with my lifestyle, and go out to eat with family and not have to look at the menu and, oh, what am I going to do, or maybe not go because I don't want to throw my diet off. So those two things.
Yeah. I think my favorites are the no soda cravings. I wasn't a soda drinker, but I've been shocked to hear how many people are. It's like there's closet soda people that haven't told us, right? And one lady's like, I drink 30 ounces of Mountain Dew a day and I haven't had any. And you're like, whoa. She's craving water now. Well, no kidding, because she's not drinking 30 ounces of Mountain Dew a day. We have another gal who she's been drinking Diet Pepsi for like 20, 30 years and she hasn't had one since January. She's like, I don't even have a desire to have one. Another one of my favorites on here is skin tags disappearing. As a
Mm.
healthcare provider, I know that's with insulin resistance. A lot of people don't know that though. You have to think if that's what's happening on the outside, what's happening on the inside, which is awesome.
Mhm. It is. So this is our founder and CEO, Daniel Piku. I have not showed his picture before, and you can see him on the left. He's the tall guy, the tall white bald guy, and he has lost over 30 pounds with this product. And you can see the difference. You can see, a lot of difference everywhere with him, with his face, with inflammation, with his gut. And, he thanks Dr. Dan Gubler, which is right there beside him right here, for creating this product. Because this is something that, with a busy schedule that Daniel has, being high stress CEO of a company in 15 countries, and this is easily to implement. And you guys look how much healthier he looks, how much healthier he looks. So, love sharing the story of the company being a product of its own product. And let's go through some more. So, this is Sarah Wathen, and Sarah is a mom of three wild boys, three amazing boys, and she's busy. So, she doesn't always have time to make the best choices. And she's tried. I've seen her. I mean, she's very healthy. She tries to make good choices, everything. And this has completely changed the game. She said her biggest difference is bloating. She's like, bloating has gone down tremendously in her stomach. Yes, she's lost weight. The puffiness in her face with inflammation. She's a notch tighter with her belt. She has much less food noise. She feels like a choice now. It's so much easier to make healthy choices and not have to fight the cravings. And you guys look at her results. Wow. So this is 2 months. This is 2 months. And then we have Dr. Darren Mazeppa out in Pennsylvania. And, it's fun. When he took that picture on the left, he had no idea that that was a before picture. So this is a 4 month picture difference. He started the GLP in January, probably third week, fourth week, when everybody got their shipments. And there he is in March with his after photo with the same shirt, same, it's where they do their team coffee meetings. Look at the difference, over 15 pounds and so many metabolic improvements he talks about. Wow, look at that. So really love his story. Then we have Dave Farnsworth. Dave is a very busy guy, especially right now. You guys, he's a CPA, owner of over 150 employees at his practice, and they're busy right now, right? It's April 1st. And look at the difference with him. And I know, Dr. Alicia, you talk about his eyes.
It's one of the biggest things I see with people when I'm looking at people's before and afters. People want to look at the face and the thin in the face, and I love to look at the eyes, the sockets, because that inflammation goes down. A couple different things happen. Number one, you can see the eyes, the puffiness around them, and number two, you can actually see the whites of the eyes, like it starts to look brighter and clear. And I'm really noticing that with people, which is a great sign of health. And of note, this is Sarah Farnsworth's husband, not yours or my husband. It says
Correct.
all.
Correct. And Sarah and the family, it's a family affair. This is.
Yeah.
And it's amazing to hear their results as a family. And here's Brett and Melissa and
Yeah.
Alicia. I'll have you share
I'll share
about
their
them.
story. Yeah, so obviously they are fit humans. When you take a look, they are fit people. And I remember Melissa, it came and she wanted to add it in. She was getting ready for a spring break trip. Their daughter's a senior. And right out of the gate, she was like, whoa, I don't know if she may not mind. She may mind. I'm going to tell her story. She's the one who was drinking 30 ounces of Mountain Dew a day. And what a huge shift for her. I mean, imagine what's happening in her body internally by just changing that. And so she got going and started taking the products. Even since then, she's lost this, she's lost more. But look at even her muscle. You can start to see muscle definition, not just in her arm, but in her stomach. That's a big deal. Initially, her husband, Brett, he wasn't going to take it. He was like, I'm doing good. I go to the gym. I follow a regimen. But after a while, it kind of got to him. So he decided to start taking it. And he said the very first night, he went from waking up 4 times a night to not waking up at all. And that's a big deal. And so then he was sleeping through the night and he's like, wow, I can really start to tell a difference. And some of that sticky weight, I like to call it, that sticky weight that just will not come off, changed for him and changed for him easily. He's another person that said, I'd finish breakfast and by 9:30, 10 o'clock, I was thinking about my lunch. And he's like, I don't anymore. I eat and I move on with my day. It's like, I call it 10-year-old metabolism, where you would eat, you walk away, and you're not hungry for a few hours. And that's kind of what's back. And that's what he experienced. And he's not finding that food noise. And obviously he's made a huge difference in how he looks. You can see the inflammation in his face as well, how much different and thinner he looks in there.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And here's Pam and her husband Brett. And what I love about them is that they go to Antigua every year. So this is in February 2025, February 2026, styling in her swimsuits. And you look at the left picture, that was last year. And when she went back this year, she'd only been on GLP-3 for a few weeks. Only a few weeks, and she was already seeing they're in their 60s, enjoying life, grandkids, all of it. And she's busy sharing three, of course, because this product is just blowing up for her. Because look at just the difference. Look at the difference with, underarm body composition and her stomach. She noticed her face. She goes on and on and on about it. And then, of course, you look at her husband, the same. And it's easy to implement with your spouses. It's a dropper in the morning and dropper in the late afternoon or early evening, and that's it. That's all. And you wait and hear the results from it.
And
So
she's continued to have results
oh
since.
yeah.
I mean, she showed a picture the other day in a yoga outfit. She said, I couldn't even fit into this a year ago. So she's continued to show wonderful results, losing more inches in her waist and things like that, which is incredible.
Yeah, 2 inches in her waist, and she's excited. So let's go over some frequently asked questions. How to take three. It's easy. The biggest thing you have to remember is the consistency. That's it. For weight loss, 3/4 of a dropper. like Alicia said, right up underneath the cap right there. You could do it 30 minutes before a meal, or you really don't have to. We've found with experience that it's really important that you do the 2 times a day and you're consistent with that. So it doesn't necessarily have to be before a meal. And then for metabolic health and blood sugar regulation, it's taking a half a drop or twice daily, being consistent with that. How much you can, don't worry, you don't even have to worry about taking too much. It's a natural product, it's whole food based. So, no, you cannot OD on it. Follow the instructions, though, of what result that you want. Can you dilute it? No, you cannot. It needs to go dropper to mouth. That's where it goes. It doesn't go in a glass, it goes dropper to mouth, under your tongue, and wait 20 to 30 seconds. Pretty easy. How long does it take? Everyone is at a different metabolic place. And this is one topic that we're continually talking about because we're seeing so many ages, so many walks of life, so many circumstances with people. And as the body starts to rebalance those hormones and gut health and blood sugar and metabolism, the first signs that people may see are appetite. And this is not an appetite suppressant. This is a signaling, is what's happening in the body. So that's when you may notice you're craving healthier things or the food noise is off. You'll notice energy. Sleep is one that we hear often, that people are like sleeping better, cravings, visible changes such as the inflammation, which who doesn't want to look in the mirror and be like, ooh, I want to take a double take at myself, because we love seeing those results. That's what we should have. Inches or weight tend to follow with that. Some people notice changes quickly, while others, it might take a little longer as their metabolic health actually improves. I know Dr. Alicia, Scott, I know we talk about Scott
Yeah.
Cyberling.
Yeah, he started out of the gate and he started noticing body composition changes. He went down one pant size and then he went down another pant size. And then he was in a pant size he hasn't worn since before him and his wife were married.
A
That was
36 to a 32.
32 waist. Here's the kicker. He hadn't lost 1 pound, but his body composition, how he looked, you could see it in his face. They do live videos. I was like, whoa. At day 45, the scale started to move for him. And so now he's down 6 pounds. So it's shifting. So some people are, they're the scale. Some people are the sleep. Some people are, we're all different. We are all different. And what got us to a broken green pepper is all different. And so some people started with the butter sandwiches in high school. Some people didn't. So it's all going to be different for different people.
So,
So,
what does it contain? Peptides. Yes, we covered this. It's the MBC 267 metabolic boost complex found naturally in salmon and mushroom, unique to Three International. Are they natural? Of course, they're natural. It's made here at Three. Everything is whole food based, no synthetics, flavors, colors, binders, fillers, maskers, nothing. What are the key ingredients? Well, it's the bitter acids from hops, the saffron, it's the ginseng, it's all of those key ingredients with the salmon peptides. Is there intellectual property? You bet there is. That's why it's patent pending. And of course, Dr. Dan has his cellular absorption technologies that he is brilliant with. And that's the absorption. We haven't even talked absorption. Just know, though, absorption matters. And that's one of the reasons why this product really works so well. Is it non-GMO? Yes, it is. This is a clinical study that Dr.
yeah,
Alicia
this
is
is my
going to show
favorite.
you, and I'll point.
Yeah. So this is an incredible study because for many reasons. In the beginning, I looked at it and I thought, yeah, this makes sense. And then the more I've really learned about it, it's absolutely phenomenal. So this is really how well different GLPs hit the receptor. So how well do they activate the green pepper? Okay, and then allowing the body to do what it's supposed to do. So the three on the right are ones that you've probably heard of before, tirzepatide. Those are actually pretty high doses as well, and you can see they activate that receptor pretty well. The three next to that, the light pink, the mauve, and the gray, those are things like semaglutide. Okay. And so you can see how they activate that receptor. Follow it all the way along to the left where Holly has the arrow with the yellow. That is our product. That is MBC 267. Here's what's great about it. You cross that across over to the ones I just showed you. It's activating that receptor higher, which is great, right? But here's what's different, and you really want to think about. It is so rare for a natural product to be hitting into the same realm as a pharmaceutical. And so the fact that we can activate that receptor in the same realm as a pharmaceutical, a nutraceutical, really behaving in the pharmaceutical space, but without the side effects, that's a huge, huge deal. And it really shows that this is just so different.
Hmm.
out there. Yeah. We started off this company with the Simple Six. And so we never want to forget them because this is really foundational health. So as you're looking at rebuilding your foundation and the best, we have them here. We have our daily multivitamin, which is incredible. We have our immune and gut health support, our collagen. So as you're changing your body, you want the collagen to have your nice glow. Revive is our natural anti-inflammatory. Purify is our daily detox. We pair that here with our GLP-3 because as your body's releasing toxins and shifting and changing, we want to make sure we're able to shuttle those out really well. And sometimes those detox pathways can be clogged up. So you want the best bang for your buck with your GLP-3. We add Purify to that. And it's an awesome combination. And then we have Eternal, which is our antioxidant, anti-aging, cellular repair, amazingness that I will not go a day without. It tastes like berries. It's awesome. We also have our skincare, which is a nutraceutical, which is skin and mood. And then we have our clean energy drink for people who are like, I want the energy in the afternoon, but I don't want the junk. So we have you covered there with Kinetic, which is awesome.
Every day. It's every
Every
day
day.
for me.
Yeah.
And right now, wow, we have free enrollment. So this was announced yesterday. And what free enrollment means, there's an opportunity to buy wholesale cost and there's retail cost. So to do wholesale costs, you pay $30 annually to be a brand ambassador, whether you want to share it or not. You can enjoy the wholesale costs of it, and it's free right now. It's free, and I'll show you different purchases that it's free with, and that goes until April 13th. We're so excited with that. This is a $30 savings with it. These are the packs for the GLP, and there's more of a savings with the $30 now free. I'm going to start on the far left with the complete pack. There's people that want 15. They want, no, I want 3 months of this, or I want to share this. This is for myself and my family, or my sister and I, whoever it may be. And that's 15 of the GLPs. It makes them about $65, $66 a piece versus the 75 wholesale or 85 retail. You need about 4 bottles a month for the weight loss piece. So I often tell people that. I go, know that that's what you need. We've had people run out and they're like, wait a minute, how fast can I get it? Because they started to, feel the differences, see the differences, and they're like, I want to keep on it. And then the Advantage pack is 9 of those awesome little bottles, a $216 savings. You get 2 free Purify, while you get 4 with the complete pack. And then the Essential pack is a 3 pack. And with all of these, it's free enrollment. It's a $55 savings for the Essential pack for 3. And if you want to add on the Purify, add it on. We love the Purify, and you really do need that for your detox pathways. How we can serve you. And this is really a snapshot of, when you talk about financial opportunity, what do you mean? And this is an industry that I have been in for 17 years. And I used to work corporate. So I worked in banking, I worked in mortgages, and I did that for 8 years. And I turned to this industry. I was introduced by a third grade school teacher. And when I was introduced to this, I thought, what if this really worked for me? And I didn't love what I saw in this industry. I'm very honest and frank about that. I didn't love the reputation that it had. And, people are like, oh, it's one of those, or hey, it's a pyramid. And I was like, what do you mean by that? And so I went to back to school to learn this. I mean, basically, I learned from the best. I tapped into different people that did really well, and I wanted to learn. And what I decided to do in this industry was to build a business that has integrity and has class, and really, really use this business model as it is meant to be used, and it's amazing. And so that's what I've done. And here I am at 3. I left a pretty significant income at another company to be here, and it's because of the whole food base, the absorption, Dr. Dan Gubler, Caltech trained, and look at what we have now with the GLP and the leadership that we have. We have Kim Wee and Samson Lee, and we have an amazing headquarters. And I chose to partner with these people. Kim Wee, one of the legends in this industry. I've never been mentored by someone of her caliber. And wow, it matters. It matters. Let me just tell you that. And so when we look at health, when you prioritize being proactive and helping people know there are products for proactive health, and we're sharing the GLP, we're shouting it from the mountaintops, and it's because people may not know there's a natural solution. So when people have their health, then they can do more things. And then there's time. And without your health, you may know that if you've ever been injured, if you've ever been sick, you may know like I didn't do what I wanted with my time because I was sick. And so it's about being healthy and having that time. And that matters, you know? And then you talk about financial and time. You're like, well, wait a minute, I'm working all the time. Well, financially, this is an opportunity to make an additional income. And for me, this is my main income. And we have an amazing financial rewards plan. I love it. It's exciting. And when you share quality products like this, it's such a natural fit. Is it ever? And then the community, to be a part of a movement, be a part of something like this where you're like, I'm excited to share this. Be at events, be on Zooms, be a part of people that want to lift you up and help you do better. So that's a little bit about how we serve you when it comes to the business piece of it. And like I'm at home in my house in Arizona. Dr. Alicia's at her home in Iowa. And doing a business from home, some people may be like, really? Yeah, the freedom of that. I am my own boss. Dr. Alicia is her own boss. And we collaborate. And that's what's so much fun to do. And it's unlimited. There's no ceiling. I was in corporate. There was a ceiling. Oh my goodness. Was there ever? There's no ceiling on what we can do here. And you could tell that we truly love what we do. So if you're interested in the GLP and any of the products, the business opportunity, get back to the person who invited you to this Zoom. Get back to them. Let them know what you like best. And my advice is don't overthink it. Do not overthink it. Go listen, tune in. Go, what am I feeling right now? And don't overthink it. I know some of you are like, I don't know how to not overthink it. But ask if you need more resources, ask. We absolutely have more videos, resources for you to look at to make a decision that's really best for you. Only you can make that decision. Okay. Thanks, everyone, and have a great night.
Great night.